Hey, it's day 157. It's all climb for the next few miles since I left the shelter, so I may have to stand here and talk for a minute. I've only got like 11 or 12 miles today because the way the shelters and tent sites are spaced, the other option is like 20, and I don't know if I can pull off a 20. And it's too late in the day to pull off a 20 as it stands. So either I go 11 point something to a tent site, or I go 14 to the state line and stealth camp. But I have no idea what stealth camping is like, so I'll probably go to the tent site. It rained last night from about 7 p.m. to about 6 a.m. Just steady, hard rain. No thunder or wind or anything, just downpour. And it was really cold this morning. It was like 55 degrees and wet. Yeah, right when I got to the shelter turnoff last night, my phone hit full storage and was no longer able to shoot video, so I never got any footage of last night setting up camp or of the shelter or anything like that. So that's what was going on there. But yeah, I'm coming up on Mount Graylock in about 3 miles, which is the highest point in Massachusetts. The vibe of the trail right here as we're going up Mount Graylock is very piney. It smells piney, and it's quite lovely. The brown tannins. So glad to see blue skies. Keep crisscrossing the roads leading to Graylock Summit, whereas the AT takes a more direct route. I'll walk to the top of Graylock Monument. But fantastic views from up here. Notice how white my knuckles are. I was not expecting this to be open, but this is a 1930s warming hut built for skiers. This was starting to become a popular ski destination back when you had to climb up here by foot, and then, you know, for hours of uphill foot climb carrying all your gear for probably a 10-minute ski ride down 2,000 feet. But this is near the top where they would have this four-sided oven stack with benches for warming up before your ski run, according to the plaque on the wall. I didn't know any of this before just now. This is kind of an impressive little spot right here. It's the top landing of a little staircase going down the side of the mountain, but we can see all the way. Look, windmills. All right, I'm on the summit of Mount Williams, which is like the next little summit after Graylock. It's about, gosh, call it 2.5 miles further on. Might have a change of plans for the day. There's a shelter like 1.5 miles from here, maybe even just 1 mile from here. But the shelter I was going to is like 6 miles from here, which it's almost too late in the day for me to make that. I got such a late start, and then with plenty of time to make it to that shelter, but then ended up dilly-dallying around at Mount Graylock longer than I had intended. I still haven't eaten lunch. That's what I'm doing right now, even though it's 5. Lunch meaning the main meal of the hiking portion of my day. I bumped into some hikers that I knew way back in the first weeks of the hike and had lost touch with them, I think, at Hot Springs. Knew they were still back there, and even recently kind of did the math and figured they must be flipping north based on where I kind of knew they were. And sure enough, they turned up this morning. Turns out we were at the same shelter last night, but it was raining, so I never got to meet any of the other hikers. And as they were leaving the shelter this morning, I spotted them and thought they looked familiar. And then we bumped into each other on Mount Graylock, so that was fantastic. Somebody I haven't seen since March, really, maybe early April. Yeah, by the time I left Mount Graylock and headed this way, I would be arriving at my intended destination by 8 or 8:30. So I may just pull up short at this first shelter coming up in another mile, and I just readjust my next few days by, 5 or 6 miles, which is no big deal in the grand scheme of things. It's just a ridiculously short day for being the second day back on trail after a 00. This little spot here on the summit of whatever I said, Mount something Wilson, doesn't really have a view, except I can see the horizon across there. And ironically, there's a line of windmills on the top of the mountain across the way, which goes with my trail name, Don Quixote. That's funny to me, windmills on the mountains. So this is the view from where I'm sitting. Headed down the side trail to the shelter. It's pretty long as side trails to shelters go, but it sure is a pretty forest. Quite beautiful.